Okay, hi everyone. We're going to go through test number 1 for Algebra 1 in our fall semester. We're just going to go through this, and if you need any help, please let me know, okay? So a couple things we want to take a look here. We always want to read the directions. Consider the following graph of the system of equations. What is the solution of the system? And hopefully you're looking here and you're seeing the solution is where they meet, and almost everyone got this right. And that's going to be at a -1, x is -1, and the y is -2. So it's a comma -1, comma 2. That's it. That's all you had to write. So remember, you had the ability to check your answers. And if you wrote it wrong the first time, hopefully you were able to fix that. Second one, let's go ahead and graph this. We're looking at mx plus b. Y is equal to mx plus b. Oh, darn it. Y equals mx plus b. For each of these graphs, they're nicely set up for us. So going back to graphing lines, we start off with our b value, that's -3 for the first graph. And then the slope is up to rise 1, 2, and run 1. Okay, let's use a little ruler here. And then my second point here is at +2 with a slope of -1 over 2. So -1 is my rise, and my run is +2. And you guys can automatically see where they meet. You see where they meet. They meet at the value 2. X is 2, y is 1. 2 comma 1. That's what they want. Next question. The graph is shown compared the height of a tree A to height of tree B over time. How many years after tree B was planted did tree A and tree B have the same height? Okay. How many years after tree B was planted did they both have the same height? So I'm following the chart. So the red is tree B. So here's B, and at a certain point eventually, they're going to both have the same height. So it took them 50 years. Okay, so that's how we read it. 50. And then you have to make sure you put years on the side. If you didn't pick this, they minus some points. Okay, we're on question 4 already. That was pretty fast. Now, solve the system by substitution. So on your work, I should be seeing that you're saying y is equal to y. That's how we do substitution here. We're substituting one variable for another. Hey, y is 2x minus 3. Fine, this y here will be 2x minus 3. We have more x's on this side, so I'm going to add 3x to both sides. 2 plus 3 is 5x. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. 5x is equal to 0. Hey, this means when I divide both sides by 5, x is equal to 0. Now, we have two possibilities here, but the goal is for you guys to make sure you show all the work. So let's go ahead and pick a y value. We'll pick the top one. 2 times x is now 0. For sure, x is 0. So y is equal to -3. If you chose the other one, y is equal to -3 times 0, you would still end up with y is equal to -3 because that would have been 0. Okay, so we're looking at hopefully some easy questions for you guys. That you guys are kind of used to this. Hopefully you guys are getting a lot better at this first semester skill of solving for x. Hopefully you guys are getting a lot better at that. If you guys are still having problems with that, please stop by, email me. We'll do some Zoom. Okay, next question is a strategy question. Which of these two systems are easier to solve by substitution? Which one of these would be easier? Would it be that x's and y's are still mixed up, or that the y would be separated by itself? And the idea of substitution is we're plugging in one system for another. So hey, since we can solve for y, we know what y is now. -2x plus y, and y is 3x minus 6 equals to -5. Okay, and then they want us to solve it by substitution. Since there's no number in the front, we can just get rid of the parentheses. -2x plus 3x minus 6 equals to -5. That's -2x plus 3 is x minus 6 is equal to -5 plus 6 plus 6, x is equal to 1. All right, so now that I solved for x, I haven't solved the problem yet because I only solved for one side of it. What's the other one? So y equals to 3x What's x? Well, we solve for it. Y is equal to 3 minus 6 is negative 3. Okay, we're halfway through the test and we're only 5 minutes in the class. Remember, these questions were exactly the same questions you guys had on the practice. So I hope that the practice did help and it did prepare you for the test. As you can see, I'm showing all the work, and this is my expectation for you guys to be able to show all the same work as I'm doing right now. Write a system of equations that describes the situation below. Solve using substitution and fill in the blank. Sure. On last Wednesday, 2 friends met up after school to read the books they were assigned in literature class. All right. Tisha can read 1 book per minute. Okay, 1 book per minute, and she already read 62 pages. Austin, who has a reading speed of 6 pages per minute and has read already 2 pages. Eventually they read the same amount. So we're looking for this equation, it gives you a total number of pages read. Okay. If I read so many minutes plus the minutes pages I read before, that will give me my total pages. So this equation seems to work, and we've done several of these both on IXL and in the test practice. So since we're saying for them to be substitution, hey, it doesn't t equal to t. 1m plus 62 is equal to 6m plus 2. And then we're going to combine our m's. 62 is equal to 5m plus 2. I'm going to minus 2 to both sides. Running out of space. We're left 62 minus 2 is 60 equals to 5m divided by 5 on both sides. Turns out it took them 12 minutes to catch up to each other. Well, after 12 minutes, how many pages was that? Well, let's use this formula up here. 1 times 12 minutes plus 62 pages that Tisha already read gives you 74 pages. So after 12 minutes, they read 74 pages total. These word prompts can be very difficult when we've never seen them before and we're out of context. But with enough practice of these types of problems, you'll see it's really very formulaic. Okay, let's look at the next question. Seems like a similar note. Joe went to play miniature golf on Monday when it cost $7 to rent the clubs and balls and $2 per game. So if you guys ever been to miniature golf, they always charge you a rental fee for the golf clubs and then you pay per game. It's very similar to bowling if you've been bowling. You rent the shoes for a certain price and then you pay per game in addition to that. So it cost me $7 to rent the shoes, to rent the clubs, and then $2 per game, and I also use G for game. And this will equal to sum total cost. Malia went Thursday paying $3 per game. So we only pay $3 once, okay? And then we pay a fee of $3 per game. And this will give me a total. By coincidence, they played the same number of games for the same total cost. How many games did each one play, and how much did each one spend? So we're saying that they played enough games that it costs the same amount. So let's set them equal to each other. 7 plus 2g equals to 3 plus 3g. Okay, let's combine like terms. gg. 7 equals to 3 plus g minus 3 to both sides. Now, that's fine. So 4 is equal to g. So we know it costs them $4 per game. Great. $4 per game. Well, how much did it cost total? 7 plus 2 times 4 is 7 plus 8 is $13. Let's see if it's the same for the other one. 3 plus 3 times 4 is, so that's $15. 15. And that's 3 plus 12 is 15. So yes, they played 4 games and it cost them $15. Now miniature golf is usually about this price-ish, right? But $15 doesn't seem like a lot, but when you have a family of 4 times 15 is $60. It adds up. Adds up quickly. I remember I used to go miniature golfing as a kid. Okay, solve the system by elimination? Sure. So this is already set up for us in this problem here. This is already set up. So we can take a look. Does x's or the y's cancel out? As you can see, it's the y's here, -2 and a +2. These guys will nicely eliminate each other. So let's just combine them downward. -x plus 4x is 3x. And -2y plus 2y cancels out, and we're only left with the number 6. We divide by 3 to both sides because we're solving for x. X is equal to 2. Great. Now you have x. You have to now solve for y. Now, as you can see, I'm showing all the work as I'm doing these problems, and I expect you guys, again, to do the same. If you guys do not show the work, don't expect to have all your points. I want to minus points from that, okay? Divide by -2, divide by -2. Y is equal to -1. As you can see, when I'm plugging in, I need to show the work. There's many ways of making small mistakes, and I wouldn't have figured out the answer is -1. Okay, the next one, number 9. We look here, the problem with number 9 is that none of the x's or y's cancel out. None of the x's or y's cancel out. So we're going to change them. So I can change them, either make the x's look alike or the y's look alike. It's really up to me, whichever one you think is easier. That's fine, Sophia, thank you. Oh, good. Okay, so I'm going to multiply this by a -4, and then multiply the bottom by a +5. The reason why? Because they'll both make 20, but I want one to be positive and one to be negative. So I'm going to make them different signs. So when I multiply the top by a -4, that's a +20. X minus 12y equals to +48. When I multiply the bottom by +5, we end up with 20x plus 25y equals to -100. Yikes, that's a big number. And that's a negative in the front. Okay, but now you can see the x's nicely cancel out when I use elimination, add downward. So that cancels out. 25 minus 12 is 13. Y equals to 52. Now, if you know what 13 times what is 52, I don't obviously know. But here's a trick. There's actually a trick. What number can I multiply 3 by to make it a 2 at the end? Right? These numbers in the back have to match if you can divide it. 3 times 1 is 3. Nope. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. Oh, hey, that's how I get the 2 in the back. So if I divide 52 over 13, it turns out that's 4. 13 times 4 is 52. Okay, so if I solve for my y, we now have to solve for my x. Let's go ahead and plug it back into one of the easy equations. 4x plus 5, we said 4, equals to -20. -4x plus 20 equals to -20. Minus 20 to both sides, minus 20 to both sides. -4x equals to -40. If we divide both sides by -4, x is just +10. +10. So x is 10 and y is 4. Is that right? Did I flip it around? Is that right? Let me double check. -40 plus 20. Yeah, that's right. -5 times 10 is -5 times 10 is -50. But then plus 3 times 4 is 12. That doesn't give me -12. Did I make a mistake someplace? Oh, yes, I did. Oh my goodness, that was a negative. Negative, that's a negative over here. Whoopsie. I made a mistake. I was wondering why it didn't seem to make sense afterwards. Oopsie. Even Mr. Code makes mistakes. Definitely. That's a negative, so we're going to make that a -20. So we're going to add 20 to both sides. That gives me a 0 in the end. Whoosh. That's a 0. Negative 4x equals to 0. X is 0 then. Okay? If x is 0, let's try this again. If x is 0, would it work for my second equation here? Or my first equation, 5 times 0 plus 3 times negative 4? Yes, that would become negative 12. That's good. And negative 4 times 0 and plus 5 times negative 4 equals negative 20. Yes, that would become negative 20. Yikes, a simple sign. Remember the negative sign I told you that taunts me my whole life? It's back. Okay, let's go through the next question. Dr. John's a pediatrician with 1 annual checkup and 2 sick visits scheduled on Tuesday, which will fill a total of 100 minutes. Okay, 1 annual checkup plus 2 sick visits add up to a total of 100 minutes total. On Wednesday, he has 1 annual checkup and 3 sick visits, and that adds up to a total of 124 minutes. How much time is allotted for each type of appointment? Okay, so nicely this is set up for us. The A's look like they're going to match. So I'm going to make one negative, negative, negative. Oh, let's make the top one negative because they're smaller. Negative, negative, negative. And we can just combine them together. We end up with 0 plus S is equal to 24. So for sick visits, it's going to be 24 minutes. Well, if 6 patients are 24 minutes, how much are annual checkups? A plus 2 times 24 is equal to 100. A is equal to, A plus 48 is equal to 100 minus 48 to both sides. A is equal to 52. So annual checkups are 52 minutes and sick checkups are 24 minutes. Now, some students, they just said, they guessed the answer 52. I have no clue how you guessed 52. And they said, oh, Mr. Ko, A is obviously 52. And they just plugged it in to solve for the second value, the sick visits. And nope, that's not enough work. That's just you cheating somehow. Okay, let's look at number 11, our last question here. A florist is assembling flowers for Valentine's Day. This morning she assembled 3 small arrangement flowers and 9 large. And it took her a total of 72 minutes. After lunch she arranged 3 small and 13 large, and it took her a total of 100 minutes. How long does it take them to assemble each type? Now you can see that this is again a elimination problem. And I'm asking you to use elimination too. You see that the 3's are going to cancel out. So we're going to make one negative. I'll make the top negative. So let's go combine them. Negative 9 plus 13 is 4L equals to 100 minus 72 is 28. Divide both sides by 4. L is equal to 7. It takes them 7 minutes to do a large arrangement. So let's go ahead and finish the rest. Negative 3S plus, darn it, no negative here. 3S plus, plugging in the L, 9 times 7 equals to 72. 9 times 7 is 63. 3S plus 63 is equal to 72. 3S is equal to, if I minus 63 to both sides, that leaves me 9. And then, so divide by both sides by 3. S is equal to 3. Okay, so for the small arrangement, it's 3 minutes, and the large arrangement is 7 minutes.